Hi friends, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel. In the previous video, what we have did is, we have did the customization optimization of our navigation route state. So here the route state, what is the data we are trying to store? We are trying to store this only three data, that is nothing but URL, params and the query parameters. Now where this one will be useful? Now we will try to see in this video. Now here if you try to see in the update, okay, in the update we are having post slash edit slash the ID. So using this ID we are able to highlight this data, right? So we are showing this update post data. Now here if you go to the this one all, okay, yeah, if I go to the edit post component.ts, and if you see here on ng on init, first we are getting the route, and next after we are taking that ID, and then afterwards we are sending that store to the ID to the store. Now in this scenario we are using the router store, we know the router ID, so the store knows the router ID, and there is no need for this store to send this ID, route ID. Why? Because the router store, in that router we are already storing that ID, so router store knows the ID, what is the currently loaded ID, store knows that one, so there is no need to send to this one. So we can make use of this store ID and we can show this one. So that means there is no need of this route thing. So there is now the component, there is no need to load this route thing, and therefore what we can do here, control K comma C, here what I will try to do is, first this dot store dot select, okay, select of what I can do, get post by ID. So this is the thing, right? Get post by ID. Now if I try to use this get post by ID, automatically what it will happen, it will raise an error. Why? Because this expects an props of ID, okay. So now what I will try to do is, now there is no need of sending this props is nothing but what we are trying to send, we are sending the route ID. So we have the router with us, so let's create the selector for that one, router thing. Now here let's go to the router, and here I am creating a selector to get the router data, okay, selector.ts. now here what I can do, first export constant get router state, okay. So create feature selector, and here we will be giving the router, and what is the type of data we are having, we need to mention. So the type of data we are having is router reducer state of, so the two router state URL, we are having the router state URL of data, right? So router state, in that we are having subset router state URL. Now here what I can do, export constant get current route, okay, current route data is equal to create selector of what I can do. So I can use this get router state, okay. In this one state we will be having, and we can return state, not state. So router, let's assume router, we'll be having the router, whatever the name you want you can give. So here we'll be having router dot state. So we'll be having two things, state and navigation ID. Why? So here if you try to see in the Redux, the Redux management, if you try to see the state, here you're having the writer, you're having the router, here you're having the state and navigation ID, right? So that is these two are the details it is showing. So we need only the state. So now we can take only the state, router dot state. In that state only we'll be having the details. So get current route will have all the details. Wherever you need this one, you can use this get current route. Now where I need the data, we need that one in the post thing. The post in the state, in the post selector, here in the get post by ID, I need that route data. So here I can directly inject that get current route, right? So I can inject that get current route, and in this one I will be getting the state, or otherwise you can inject the get post directly, and here you will be having the post, and you will be having the route data, that is nothing but the type of router state URL. So in order to get the intelligence, you can use the router state URL directly. Okay, we got the post and the router state URL, and here we can remove this post thing. So post dot find of post, and where what we can give here, route dot params of ID, we can keep directly route dot params dot ID. So we have the params and we have directly used this one. So now we have directly made use of this router params thing. Now let's go to the edit post component. Now here what we have did, so now we have, so we have the route param store dot select, we have used it. So now this store dot select, we are not using it anywhere, okay. So if you observe, we are not using it everywhere. we are not using this as an async pipe or anything. So now if you use directly like this, the store will not be called. If you try to see the output, so if you try to refresh this one, the store will not be called. Why? Because as long as you subscribe this data only, it will be called. As you already know about the what you can say, observables principle, when we use this subscribe only, then only the store.select will be called. So we need to call the subscribe. Why? Because we are not using anywhere in the async pipe in the template. So now I can use this dot subscribe and we'll be getting the post here. So we know that when we are subscribing, it's better to unsubscribe this one. So we can use this dot post subscription is equal to, and on ng on destroy it will be there, right? So post, yeah, unsubscribe we can use it, yeah. So on subscribe we'll be getting the post, and what we need to do, so after subscription what we need to do, so first what we need to do is, so just create the form, okay, directly. So there is no need to stop on creating the form. So just create the form. So by that time we will be not having the data. So let's keep it as null. Why? Because the post data will not be getting. So now let's keep it as null. Okay. Now what I will try to do is, let's try to, on subscribing the post data, I can remove all this one. Okay. So what I will try to do is, so here you are having the post, right? So just directly copy this dot post is equal to post. Okay. And now what I will try to do, this dot post form, okay, dot patch value, we will add those values. So highlight those values. Afterwards, after getting the data, we can keep post dot title, and we can keep post description, post dot description, right? So now we have attached the data. Simple. Now let's try to use it. Okay. So now if I go to the post here, okay, I went to the post and I clicked on update. See, I'm able to update the data. So now we are successfully update the data. Now here if you see what we have did, first we have created the form and we have a subscription. Now in the store.select get post by id, so it is taking the from the router param and subscribing to the post. We are getting the post, and we are afterwards, after creating the form, we are attaching the values. Now it is fine. Now it is fine. When it will be fine if we click on post. Okay, so refresh this one. Okay, now if I click on post, and if I click if I go to counter and if I come post, okay, no errors. If I click on update, it is fine. Now what I will try to do is, I will try to refresh this page. If I try to refresh this page, we are getting an error that cannot read property find of null. So this find of null, where you are getting, so you are getting it from the post.selector. Here it is telling that I don't know this post data, so find of null it is saying. What is the problem it is having is, so when you are refreshing the data, it will take some time from the API to load all the posts, and getting all the posts, then we are from that post we are taking the ID. So now without getting the post, there is no need to run this one, right? So now we need to keep a condition here. So what we need to do, if post is there, okay, then do these all things, or otherwise return the null. Just we will tell it as return the null. Okay, so first step is completed. So now we told that just return the null, and if you go to the console, it is telling that cannot read property title of null. Yeah, that is also issue. So what is the issue here? It is telling that I got the null post, but here you are updating the values, it is saying. So what we can do here, directly you can write if post is there only, okay, if post is present only, then only you do the needful thing, or otherwise just leave it aside. Okay, so now if we try to see, if I try to refresh this page, okay, now we are able to update the data. See, so first what it is saying, first it returned the null value. When the post is again loaded, again the selector will call, and again the subscribe will invoke, and again we are getting the data. Okay, so from the post, from the update we are able to get, and if we refresh this page also, we are able to get the data. Okay, so now this is the way how we will be using the router store URL. So now the component is not at all responsible for the route data. The store itself will take care of the route data, whatever the route loaded. So it will take the parameter from that route and it will do the necessary action. It will give you the data. So okay. So in this way you can keep your component very linear, and you can do you can split all the code aside. And here the router also, we are using this router. Why we are using this router? So we can remove this router also. So for example, we can remove so that the component will be responsible only for getting the data from the store. why, in which scenario we are using this router? If you come down, if you see here on submit, okay, when we have successfully updated, we are navigating this one. Actually this one is some kind of wrong, but we have implemented. If you understand in our previous thing, when update post, it is immediately navigating to the post thing. So if the update post is success or failure, it will not consider, it is not considering. So then what you need to do here, instead of using this router.navigate, you need to remove this router.navigate, and you can remove this one. You need to write the effects for this one. So side effect, you need to write the effects. So here you are having the update post. When this update post success is called, you can write the on update post success redirect, and you can write the update post success redirect, and you can redirect, you can route the match, you can navigate the route, just like what we have did in the login thing. So you can implement this one. So I am not implementing this one here, I am giving you as a task for you, so you can practice, so that you will be able to understand how you can implement this one all. Okay, so you can implement this one. Afterwards I will commit this one in the git thing, so you can take care. If you have doubts or anything, you can take a look at that one. So I will not explain you in this video. I will what I will try to do is, I will try to do it as offline, the code, whatever the code I have written, and you can implement. And also what we have did is, we also not implemented the catch error thing. So if the update has been failed, what we need to do, we also haven't implemented those all things. You can also take it as a practice, you can also implement things. Okay, implement that thing. We have already implemented in the login thing, how we can implement it. Okay, so this is the router store thing, how we can use up the router store in getting the data. So now in the next video, what we'll try to do is, you will try to use the router state thing in the params also. In the effects also, how we can make use of these things in the effects also. We'll try to see it in the next video. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.